Should be rolling. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, we're Akim here from Great Millstone, Atlanta, back again through the Spirit with another lesson. All right, Lord, we're going to be edifying through the Spirit, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. But before we start, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem,
Kadash, the honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, Shalom to the elect. All right, so you see the title of the video is that the so-called Mexicans are Hebrew Israelites. All right, and through the Spirit, we're going to bring out some information in this book that the brothers got. It's from Eduardo Matos Montezuma, if I'm saying that correctly. And I have it as a thumbnail also, was a book called The Aztecs. All right, when you go into this book, it's a lot of information concerning the Aztecs and their history and their origins. But when you read the prologue, it's some heavy information. All right, they pretty much come right out and tell you that they basically are the so-called lost 10 tribes of Israel. All right. As a matter of fact, somebody can get the book of Colossians, chapter 1, started I think at 25. You can start there, then we'll just
Okay. All right, this is Colossians chapter 1, verse 25. Whereof I am made a minister according to the dispensation of the Most High, which is given to me for you to fulfill the word of the Most High.
Right, so that's the office that we're coming in as well. Right, we've been established and set up by Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai to preach the word. All right, go ahead.
Verse 26, even the mystery which have been hid from ages and from generations, but now is made manifest to his saints.
Right, even the mysteries that have been hid from ages and generations, which really the truth as a whole, but ultimately who the tribes are, man. All right, that information has been exposed. All right, going back to Elder High Priest Ariah with the 12 tribe sign, which a lot of guys are bucking up against. You know, saying all the tribes are Negroes, all the tribes are black, which is complete madness. All right, but what this information and the mysteries have been brought out, man. All right, concerning especially those 10 tribes that left Jerusalem. That was a mystery for ages, man. Like where these tribes at? You know, but through the Spirit, these last days, this information has been brought out, and we're going to bring it out in this book as well as in the scriptures. Was there any more?
I got a precept.
Okay.
27.
Okay, go ahead. Let me bring yours, Kabash.
All right, Colossians 1 and 27. To whom the Most High would make known what is the riches of the glory of his mystery among the Gentiles, which is Hamashiach in you, the hope of glory.
Yeah, so the mystery has been made manifest to the Gentiles, which the Gentiles are talking about scattered Israelites. Okay, not the so-called white man, the so-called Chinese, you know, the damn Hamites. No, the word was only made manifest and brought out to those scattered sheep, if you will. You know, is that it?
Come.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Kabbalah.
Come. This is Revelation chapter 5, verse 1. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within, and on the backside sealed with 7 seals.
And that book is talking about these scriptures. All right, the Bible. Go ahead.
And I saw a strong angel proclaiming in a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof. And no man in heaven nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. Right,
so in a certain period of time, the Bible was sealed. You know, the truth wasn't put out there yet. It was sealed. You had various biblical scholars and historians that came up and tried to break the scriptures down, but they couldn't get the full understanding of it. You know, it was sealed. Go ahead.
And one of the elders said unto me, weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof.
Right, who's that talking about? Talking about Yahweh Shai. All right, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. All right, so Yahweh Shai is worthy to loose the seals, and that's why we have the understanding today of who the tribes are, who we are as a people. All right, we know the deep, as the scriptures say, the deep, dark sayings of the scriptures. You know, that was revealed by Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man, through the Spirit. And only given to his men, the prophets, man. All right, not to you other nations. Go ahead. That was it. All right, so I'm gonna read this, the prologue to this book. All right. I'm gonna start at all right. This is the prologue on page 10. All right. It says I'm gonna start this first paragraph. It says the Spanish chroniclers testified to how they went about solving the riddle of who the natives were and where they came from. So it was a mystery of, man, who are these people? Who are these Aztec Indians? And really this information applies to all of them, the Incas, the Mayans, the so-called Native American tribes, the Taino Indians, that's right. It says at the beginning of his work, Historia de la Indias de Nueva España, Friar Diego Duran argues that the natives were an inferior race, and therefore they got in quotes, obviously Jews and Jewish people, because the other natives. Why? Because they looked at the Israelites as inferior. You know, that's what the so-called white man today looks at the Israelites are. They're inferior. They're no people. They're nothing. You know, they're savages. All right. But what? They're the people of basically they're the people of the Most High. It says and adds that their ways of living, rights, and beliefs were the same as those of the Jews. You see that? So that's why when you go into their history, even like you look at Gad, what did they wear the fringes on their garments? You know, was it a couple months back? Brothers went to the powwow out in Stone Mountain. You know, Gad was doing the chants. You know, they had as I mentioned, the garments with the fringes on it. Some of them had the border of blue. You know, their customs, their diet, they eat pork. You know, these are the things that they kept going back to the land of Israel, man. You know, reading on, it says, for the friar, the Aztecs, and the other people's explanations of the origins and how they had wandered for many years through various lands before settling finally on Lake Texaco. Why? Because they were nomads, which that's in the scriptures too. That was the characteristics of Israelites. They always move around. All right. It says were express proof of his belief that they were the descendants of the 10 tribes of Israel, as indicated in the Bible. You see, so through their research and basically studying their living methods, if you will, how they moved around in certain characteristics, they concluded, this particular author or this historian, he said, look, man, these gotta be the lost 10 tribes of Israel. Right here in this book, man. It says where expressed the proof of his belief that they were descendants of the 10 tribes of Israel as indicated in the Bible. Another important point on which he based his assertions was the promise of the natives' Lord made to the tribe, thanks to which they were supposed to multiply like the sand in the desert. It says, what was so shocking and admirable in these lands as the friar was the sheer multitude of people we encountered. As further proof, he includes the natives' own account of the creation and of the giants who inhabited the place first, and of the immense tower they wanted to build, which God destroyed. So basically, they had their account of the scriptures for the creation. You know, you read Genesis 1, the giants, or the Nephilim. I think that's in Genesis 6 chapter. So they had all the records, man, showing you that what they the Israelites. They had the records of the creation, the book of Genesis. They had the laws, statutes, commandments. You know, and it all connects, man. So to say that these tribes are not Israelites is foolish, man.
Yeah, it seems
like
they had an account of the Tower of Babel, according to Genesis chapter 10 as well.
That's right.
So these were, the scriptures were handed down, towards Jake throughout times, man. You know, there's been stories that every nation got a story of the flood. You know, so how much more us having the scriptures, man, and our forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, these stories of faith being passed down through our people, you know.
Yeah, and they built pyramids too.
Right.
We was the ones that built the
Right.
pyramids in ancient Egypt.
That's right.
We was those Hebrew Israelites.
That's right. Let me read this last sentence. Y'all, the brothers got it. It's the last sentence. It says on page 10, it says, given his sources and information, Duran had no reason to doubt that the Aztecs were direct descendants of the tribes of Israel. I mean, that's it. It's plain, man.
Yeah.
So based off his research and what he found, the information, he's like, man, these gotta be the Israelites, man. You know, and now, how much more, as I mentioned, the other tribes that was here. Like you said, the Taino Indians, the Native Americans, the Seminole Indians. Yeah, the
I forgot the
Arawak, the Arawak Indians. How much more of these tribes, man? Because all of them came over here at the same time. All right, we're going to get the account in the scriptures to fully back that up, man. You know, that's pretty much all we wanted to bring out in this book. It's a lot of information, as you can see. If you want to check this book out, I have it as a thumbnail to the video. You know, you can check this book out on your own and get the history, man. So this stuff is out here, man. As you start over on Colossians 1, the mystery has been made manifest, man. You know, so you
I
got
got some second history too.
Oh, go ahead.
To that.
Oh, go ahead.
You can pull that scripture a lot.
You got second Ezra?
Nah, you got it.
All right, this is second Ezra chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hoshea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
You got it.
Verse 41, but they took the counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. Verse 42, that they might keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land, and they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over.
See, the key point in verse 42 says that they might keep their statutes. That book just reverenced that we had the customs just like the Israelites. I got second history.
Go.
All
Oh, go ahead.
right, come on. This is Columbus and the Jews, because Columbus was he was a Spaniard.
Yeah.
It says commentary by Dr. Gerhard Falk, Columbus Day. I'm gonna just read this short paragraph. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and his interpreter was a Jew whose name was Lou, and that is true. Indeed, it is true. Louis de Torres was not the only Jew who sailed with Columbus on the 3rd of August that year. Columbus' navigator and his doctor were also Jews. All three and two more were Jews who underwent formal conversion to Christianity one day before the voyage. See, they had to convert because we held those standards over here in the land where never mankind dwelt, which is called America now. Christianity one day before the voyage began, but were nevertheless viewed as Jews both by other Jews and by the Spanish Christians who called Jews converted to Christianity marranos, meaning swine. Columbus included de Torres because de Torres spoke Hebrew. That was on their way over here. Why did he need a Hebrew interpreter?
Exactly.
Because Jake over here, and it was part of the so-called Aztecs, which was Issachar, they spoke Hebrew.
That's right.
Columbus evidently believed or wanted to believe that he would meet Hebrew-speaking Jews on reaching the other side of the world. Columbus believed he would find the 10 lost tribes of Israel there, and hence thought he would need a Hebrew speaker. It should be noted that the voyage of Columbus was financed by two Jews, i.e. or given Louis de Santi Anglo, Chancellor of the royal household of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, and Gabriel Sanchez, Treasurer of Oregon, both conversos, of course. Joe, that's
Mhm.
that's to the point right there.
That's to the point. And just to add to you too, that movie was it 1492? I think in the intro, somewhere in the beginning, I got to watch the movie again, but I believe Christopher Columbus, they mentioned the Apocrypha in that movie. Or he was reading it. I think it's a scene when he was reading. I think a brother reposted it on his page.
Him and this other dude was in secret,
Right.
and they was talking about traveling,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
talking about the map. And he's like,
Yeah.
It said Ezra's.
Yeah,
he said
Ezra's,
Ezra's, yep.
Yeah. So hey, so that was his motivation for coming over here, man. Reading the account in the Apocrypha, man. You know, so hey, it all ties in and links up.
Yep.
You know, anybody had something?
Can I finish out this second Ezra?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
All right, this is second Ezra 13, 45 and 46.
Mm-hmm.
For through the country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsareth. When we look at Arsareth, you know, it's America. You know,
That's right.
The place where we're dwelling at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 46, then dwelt they there until the latter time, which we're in now, and now when they shall begin to come.
That's right. Yeah, you got it.
So yeah, I mean, this all goes back. You can link this up with 2 Kings 17 to read about that time period when Israel, because the kingdoms were split between the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. All right, Israel went into captivity. All right, and then it goes to show you too that goes to show you too that you know, if they went to like the east, that's not going to take a year and a half. All right.
Right.
They came out of Euphrates, they came and went around the Horn of Africa, and then went west to the Americas.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That's right. Yeah, but so that the history is clear, man. All right, but the fact you got men that have been put out there that are trying to basically push the tribes away, and that goes back to that split, back in Jerusalem, Northern Kingdom versus the Southern Kingdom, which that still don't make no damn sense, man. How do all tribes gonna be Negroes, or all the tribes are black?
Right.
That's stupidity, man.
Some of you Jake out there still believe that to this day.
Yeah.
There's videos to edify,
Right.
if you maybe able to let come out of that madness.
That's right.
Issachar is so-called Mexicans. They are part of the tribe of Israel.
That's right. And I got Genesis 49 too. Get to that prophecy.
Verse 14.
Yep. This is Genesis 49 and 14. It says Issachar is a strong ass, couching down between two burdens, which the name Issachar is from the Hebrew, meaning he is higher. All right. You look at the so-called modern day Mexicans. That's their stigma. That they hard workers.
Mm-hmm.
They be slaving. They work for them. Their pennies.
They holding up America.
That's right.
Pretty much.
That's right. Yeah. They basically they do the grunt work of America.
Yeah.
They build these houses. They goddamn build a house in 2 days. Like goddamn. And I know too that they built the pyramids.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier how they got the pyramids out there in that area in Mexico.
Yeah.
Because they took the same technology that they used back then and applied it during that time.
And the brothers from Mississippi, they showed the hieroglyphics and the imprint inscribed on the stones.
Oh yeah.
Written Hebrew.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, certain artifacts you look at, like you mentioned, the certain stone, like the Moabite stone, or all throughout Mexico, all throughout the U.S. You got particular monuments that got the Hebrew on it, man.
Yeah.
So like, come on, man. But it says, Read 14 again. It says Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. Which two burdens? The first burden is so-called North America. The other burden is South America, and Mexico is right there in between. And the strong ass represents what? The donkey, which I believe donkey in Spanish is burro. And that's one of the what do you call it? One of the animals for Mexico.
Yeah, one of their symbols.
One of their symbols is the donkey, man.
I think Apostle Tahar said he went down there a couple of visits decades ago, and he seen a donkey. He seen an actual statue of a donkey down there. In
See that?
Mexico.
Come on, man. Verse verse 15. It says and he saw that rest was good in the land that it was pleasant, because Mexico was very fruitful, had a lot of resources.
Yeah, before this devil came.
Yep, exactly.
This car had lined up to daggone Washington State, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gold.
Oh yeah,
gold.
yeah.
That's why they had the gold rush.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. It says 15 again, and he saw that rest was good in the land, that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant under tribute. That's going into this guy, what's his name? Hernando Cortez. All right, so-called, which this book goes into him too. I gotta find the page. It goes into him as well. But you could do the Google search on that. You know what I'm saying? Hernando Cortez was a Spanish conqueror or Spanish conquistador. He came, I want to say, I can't remember the exact year. Somebody probably just pull him up real quick, Hernando Cortez, because it was him. He was the devil that came and basically conquered them, man. All right, he basically overthrew the Aztec empire, if you will. You know, and that was a fulfillment of Genesis 49 in the 15th verse.
Yeah, because he had traders from the tribe of Issachar to side with them.
Yeah.
Because they was already warring over here too.
Mm-hmm.
In the Spanish
That's right.
wars.
That's right.
Spanish Conquistadors wars.
That's right.
A Spaniard conquest.
Mm-hmm.
It says, it's the basic Google search. Hernan Cortez was a Spanish conquistador or conqueror, best remembered for conquering the Aztec Empire in 1521.
1521, that's it. Yep, go ahead.
And claiming Mexico for Spain.
See that? Yeah, so they got conquered, and ultimately they got put into slavery. You know, that's why it says it says basically they became a servant under tribute, man. So basically they put them in slavery.
Took the language away.
That's why y'all speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Wasn't always speaking some damn Spanish, man.
They got
You know?
they got names like Hernandez,
Yeah.
Cortez. They even got a Nike shoe called Cortez. That's like a kick in the face, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
mainly wear it on the West Coast.
Yeah.
That's a shoe primarily worn on the West Coast.
Right.
See? Yeah.
By Issachar.
That's right.
Yeah.
That movie Blood In, Blood Out.
Mm-hmm.
That Issachar movie goes into the history of Issachar.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I got scripture too.
Okay, go ahead.
This is John chapter 10 verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring,
Break it down.
and they shall hear my voice. And there should be one fold and one shepherd. And that other fold is talking about the 10 lost tribes of Israel, which are the northern kingdom. Like it was written in 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 41. You traveled on the western hemisphere side of the world to escape the pressure of the captivity of the Syrian Empire.
That's right.
And it was all biblical written that those scriptures must be fulfilled, so this saying can be fulfilled too. And this saying was fulfilled too by Yahweh Shai through the scriptures. That prophecy was fulfilled. And that's how, I don't have records on it as of yet though. But Yahweh Shai came over to this side of the world.
Yeah.
Through the Spirit.
Right.
They got certain, what they call them, like legends. They call them another name, Quetzalcoatl. This book goes to it too. I just gotta find it. I just kind of skimmed through it briefly, but this one prologue just stood out, man. But they got actual like they call them legends or stories about them coming over to the side, man.
Yeah, the Savior.
You know, yeah, that's right.
There wasn't never no damn what would you call it? Borgia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
Saint Mary.
Yes, it ain't here. Damn devil.
That was Esau bringing that damn Renaissance over here.
Yep. That's right. You go ahead.
Come. Therefore do my father. Well, that was it.
Okay.
That was it on that scripture.
Somebody get that? What's that? First Chronicles 12.
Yeah, kind of, I got that.
Okay.
This is 1 Chronicles 12, verse 32. And of the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do, the heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their commandment. So that goes into that we saw once again with 2nd Ezra 13, because it says in 2nd Ezra 13 that it says, and they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river, for the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. So Issachar had the understanding of the times and the understanding to get over here, and also they had understanding. It goes in, with the Mayan calendar. They had the understanding of what people know now as astrology. They're breaking into the sky and pinpointing the time that they were in.
Yeah, because our forefather Solomon, King Solomon, he sent voyagers over here too to dig up treasures and stuff.
Yeah.
And the 10 tribes before they were split, they was in the kingdom when they was over there in Israel when King Solomon was ruling. So they knew the passageway to take around the African Horn and stuff like that. And they knew that a space of a half a year that it would take to get over here. And what rituals you had to have, medicines, and that's why they kept that behavior over here as Hebrew Israelites to know how to eat, how to dress. They spoke different Hebrews. Matter of fact, in the book of James and Deer, it talks about that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not only Issachar, but James and Deer really goes into the Gadites, so-called Native American Indians, Seminole Indians, how they conducted themselves as Hebrew Israelites, the customs that they held and stuff like that, how they would chant the Lord's name in broken Hebrew. But it wasn't no J, it wasn't no God that they were saying.
Right.
So, we are the Hebrew Israelites. It's written.
That's right. Let me see. Get what's I'm gonna say Romans 16 and 17. Want to say basically going back to the fact that what, man, this is a mystery, man. This is something that basically the so-called white man is trying to keep hidden, man. All right, and really too, a lot of these guys are agents. They set up to cause division, to bring confusion, But through the Spirit, what the prophets are rising up, man. And to be honest with you, a lot of the bros that you see on the highways and byways, a lot of them are not even Negroes. Some brothers are Gadites, so-called Native Americans, Seminole Indians. A lot of brothers not even from the Southern Kingdom, man.
Because the Lord said, Ephraim is a cake not turned in Hosea.
That's right.
That was talking about the Northern Kingdom. It wasn't just talking about Ephraim, so-called Puerto Ricans. It was talking about the Northern Kingdom. And the Northern Kingdom, Spaniards came over here and started, mingling with us and stuff like that. And in the men of our tribe, the 10 tribes of Israel, Northern Kingdom, they mingle with the Spaniard women, the different tribes.
That's right.
And that scripture was fulfilled. A cake not turned, meaning you cook a pancake, you cook it, lightly brown and stuff like that. That's how these tribes look.
That's right. Slocky, it's Slocky. Go to 16 and 25. Romans 16 and 25. Yeah, that's right too. Yeah, the tribes are scattered, so they not all of them gonna be dark skinned with afros, and they're gonna look. Some of them they're gonna be lighter. Some of them might look like Edomites, which that's also a big stumbling block to Jake. Man, can't get over the fact that Israel is not gonna look the same way, man.
Yeah. They look at an example of the Israelite, Canelo, man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He ain't dark skinned with a woolly afro.
Exactly.
Man. That's a Jake, man.
That's right. That's right, man.
This is Romans chapter 16, verse 25. Now to him that is of power to establish you according to my gospel and the preaching of Yahushua Mashiach, according to the revelation of the mystery, which was kept secret since the world began.
Right, so again, going back to that secret, man, and the word revelation means to be, basically to pull back the veil. It was a veil there, all right, that was set up by the so-called white man. Through the Spirit of the Lord, now what, the veils are being pulled back, man. All right, and the prophets of the Lord are bringing out the archaeology, bringing out the history, bringing out the scriptures. As you read in Revelation 5, the book was sealed. This information was hidden. It was covered up. But through the Spirit and through the timing and through the manifestation of the Spirit is being brought out now, man.
Yeah.
You know, now you got so-called Mexicans rising up, prophesying His word, man, doing way more than what you you black crunchy niggas is doing, man. You know, besides just sitting on YouTube behind behind a keyboard, just talking crap, man. You know, you got so-called Mexicans rising up, prophesying His word, man.
That's right.
You know, and it's, like I said, the mystery is being brought out. Go ahead.
But now is made manifest, and by the scriptures of the prophets, according to the commandment of the everlasting power, made known to all nations for the obedience of faith.
That's right. Yeah, being made known to all nations for the obedience and faith, man. Because why? Israel, again, as you mentioned, Israel was scattered throughout all nations, man. So again, not all gonna look all the same. They're gonna look like the nations where they was at, all right, where they were scattered and mingled at, man.
Yeah.
You know, like you mentioned, the boxer, all right, what's his name?
Canelo.
Canelo, man. You know, he's an example. You really think he probably that's probably an Edomite, man. You know, he got the blonde hair.
Well, that Jake,
You know?
that's a rapper from Cyprus here, the dark skin.
Yeah.
Speaking all type of Spanish.
That's right, man. Yeah, so through the Spirit, man, hey, we're gonna keep pushing these information out. You know, we're going to these books, going to the history, all right? And that's why the so-called white man is pissed off and mad, you know, because a lot of that he was trying to cover up now is being exposed now, man.
Yeah, he paid
You know?
big time money to cover this up.
That's right.
Even the Balfour Declaration, the Jewish state, he put them damn heathens over there in the land. They try to cover up and say they the people. They're not the people.
That's right.
I got to switch here.
Bunch of goddamn scammers, man.
I got. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 9. And he said, Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the end of the time.
Ooh.
And we're living in the end of the time. It was sealed to what? That time. To this time. Like he said in Revelation chapter 5, the seven seals being unsealed by Yahushua. And who it was given to? His men, the prophets, the elect.
That's right.
So Esau, you can't run away from your faith.
That's
which
right.
is being our slave.
That's right.
I got one right.
Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 25:7, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. So amongst our people, we call ourselves black Mexicans, as this lesson is pertaining to the so-called Mexicans from the tribe of Issachar. You know, the land, the word Mexico simply means mixed land. So, you know, with all this information going out about our people, the so-called Mexicans being from the tribe of Issachar, you know, why would you call yourself a mixed land? It's like the so-called Puerto Rican calling himself a rich port. But that's that veil that Esau put over our people to give them these names that have no meaning, man.
Yeah.
To give them, you know, culture, this so-called culture that our people live up to, but really they're the Hebrew Israelites.
They don't know a bit about that so-called culture that so-called white man gave. Talking about these Spaniards and their people, descendants over there in Spaniard, these special people.
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
If you really think about them people over there in Spain, they'll say that you so-called Mexicans speaking broken Spanish.
Spanish.
Right.
And then, like, some of the people in Spain are really Jake, you know, due to the
Yeah.
Moors being over there.
Yeah.
So that's the whole covering cast, man.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that they're Spaniards. There's a lot of Jake over there. There's a lot of Gadites over there in Spain. All right, there's a lot of, you know, Ishkarites. There's a lot of Ishkarites in, what's that so-called Asian country? The Philippines, man.
Philippines, yep.
All right, these are the mysteries that are being brought out by the prophets of the Lord, man. You know, waking our people up.
That's right. I had something right here. This is, well, matter of fact, let me get this one first. Going back to Esau, this is Job 13:4. For ye are the forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. All right, that's just quick and to the point, man. Dealing with you Edomites, man. All right, you're the blame and the reason to why we're calling ourselves black Mexicans. You know, and all these different names, man. All right, these are all false names and lies, man. And you forged that. I believe the word forge means basically to falsify, or the doctor, you know, put together these different documents and put out the false history, you know, and he tried to hide the fact that we was Israelites, man. Because by us coming back to who we are, that means we're locking into our power source, man. All right? Which goes to this next scripture I had that you brothers got it. This is on Ezekiel 37. I'm gonna jump right to verse 10. It says, so I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath came into them. And when you read, start from the top of this chapter, it goes to basically the valley of the dry bones, which was basically a prophecy concerning Israelites. Because we was going to fall away, lose our heritage, you know, lose the names of the Most High and the Son. You know, we fell away, we became dry. But as you mentioned, during the course of time, the Lord had mercy on us, and He gave us that breath again, which is the truth. It says, and breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet in exceeding great army. And that's what's happening. Mm-hmm. You know, Israel is standing upon their feet now. That's why you see the various camps popping up, which now people are saying the camps are wrong now, which is just stupid. All right, but what you see in the camps, you don't just see just a bunch of so-called black dudes, man. Yeah. You see so-called Negroes, so-called Native Americans, all right, so-called Mexicans, which the lesson is really focusing on. But what, we stand upon our feet, man. The Lord has allowed us to have the spirit and know who we are, so we can stand up and prophesy, man. That's right. And that's why Esau is losing his mind. He's losing sleep. Yeah. He's trying to conjure up little wicked plans to come against us, all because why? The Israelites are standing up, man.
Yeah, you got this. Yep. There was some. We were checking the comment board. Some guy on the comment board talking about, I'm here to debate. We're not here to debate with you, man. We're here to bring out facts and to edify our people, man. We're not time. We ain't with time to go.
Oh, so I'm now
talking about he a Jewish Khazar,
man. We're here to edify. We're in the time of edifying. We're in the time of going back and forth. Now we will come back to truth, but this is come back in the truth.
That's right.
For Yahweh Shabbat edifying. Yeah. So you getting butt hurt over, you know, Issachar, so-called Mexicans, being Israelites, then you asked out for real.
Yeah,
right.
Like a question for you so-called Jews, man.
Right.
Where are the other 11 tribes at?
Right.
You go by Levi. Where are the other 11 tribes at, man? Right. You guys is finished, man.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's not just one tribe, man. Which the word Jew goes back to the tribe Judah. All right, which means what? Thank you, God. All right. So yeah, like the brother said, man, where's the other tribes at, man? I would love to see a so-called Jewish rabbi go through Genesis 49 and break down each tribe in its entirety, man. You can't do it, man. Right. You know, you don't have the answers, man. Right. All right, Yahweh Shimi Ashai has raised up men in these last days to bring this truth out, man. All right, man.
Get into the elect.
That's right. Matter of fact, somebody real quick hold Amos 3 and 7. I'm gonna finish this off. I'm gonna skip down to verse 16 real quick. It says, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions, which is going to what? The northern and southern kingdom, which spiritually just talking about that 12 tribe sign that everybody's hating on and got something to say, man. Yeah. All right. It says, then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph and the stick, for Joseph the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel's companions. 17, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. So that's what's happening, man. Through the Spirit, we're bringing, really it's the house of David being joined back together. All right, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Issachar, Gad, Reuben, all the tribes coming back together, man. That's what that 12 tribe sign is doing. All right, through that sign, all right, thousands of Israelites woke up, man. You know, nobody woke up on no damn all Negro. That don't make sense, man. Right. Judah, Negro. Benjamin, Negro. Zebulon, Negro. I mean, damn, bro. You know? And then we brought the history how the tribes, the people that was over here had to fit the description of the people that left Jerusalem because they had the same customs.
Yeah, the scripture says, you know, these people are like a speckled bird.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys got it.
You want that Amos?
Oh, yeah.
All right, this is Amos 3 and 7. Surely the Lord power will do nothing But he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
That's right. Yeah, so the secrets was revealed to the servants of prophets, not no goddamn Jewish rabbi rocking a whack ass yarmulke, man. All right, with a 9 candlestick what you call it, man? Menorah, man.
Yeah.
Lord is not dealing with you. The Lord revealed the secrets to the servants of prophets, man.
Yep.
Okay, and that's why we're able to go through the various prophecies, be able to break down the tribes, you know, because it's revealed to us. Really start with our apostles and elders, and then they taught us, man. All right, we're putting that word out. Okay, you guys want to sit on YouTube and just debate. I guarantee you go to that guy page, man. He's probably if he ain't got no content, he probably got a bunch of madness on there, man. You know, just talking crap on the comment board. All right, yeah, more. Was that it?
That was it on that.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Isaiah chapter 43,
I ain't had nothing else too.
verse 3. For I am the Lord, thy power, the Holy One of Israel, thy Savior. I gave Egypt for thy ransom, Ethiopia and Seba for thee. Verse 4, since thou wast precious in my sight, thou hast been honorable, and I have loved thee. Therefore will I give men for thee, and people for thy life. So you Jews, so-called Jews out there, you're going to be our slaves.
That's right.
Verse 5, fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east, where we scattered at, and gather thee from the west, which we're in. I will say to the north, give up, North America, and to the south, keep not back. Our people down in Central America and South America, you know, the caravan of Jake coming up here, getting tortured by Esau. Now Trump want to build that wall and shit.
Yeah. That's right.
But Issachar and Northern Kingdom, the main one keeping America up. It says, I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons bring my sons from far, and my daughters from the ends of the earth. Yeah. And Bob Marley's on that in this song too. Called I Know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to be called back to, and this is the calling right here. First, the Lord's calling us through these scriptures, through the internet, and then the Lord is going to call us in chariots when the bombs come down. And blast you scoffers to hell and back.
That's right.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, kind of. Yes, that's something I know.
Loud.
Okay, so if we ain't, well, that's pretty much the point. We pretty much, you know, said we had to say through the Spirit, Lord willing, whoever tuned in or may tune in later was edified. All right, the so-called Mexicans are Hebrew Israelites.
Yes.
All right, as well as all the other Latin tribes, Latin and Indian tribes. All right, by the certain tribes, whether it's Gad, Reuben, Zebulon, Naphtali, so forth and so on. All right, so again, Lord willing, y'all was edified. All right, we're going to end off there, giving them praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
Devon to the apostle, elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. All right, Lord willing, until next time, shalom.
Shalom.